He's actually the spokesman for the Association of Corporate and Industrial Security Management Professionals. Byron, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Jeff.
Well, a lot of questions, Byron. I'll
plenty.
begin with the profile of the terrorists today, because they used to fit a certain profile.
Yes.
That has changed since. How so?
I mean, it's very interesting to see what has happened over time.
Yeah.
Of course, people are used to the profile of terrorists looking the part, which is a particular profile. People are expected terrorists to look and smell and almost look
A certain way.
a certain way.
Right.
But that has changed over time. Of course, what has overtaken generations over time is due to the fact that there's been a war that's been taking place for quite some time. And for sure, the Al-Shabaab's strength and capacity to wage the war as it was back in the day isn't happening anymore. And of course, they have had to look for the cannon fodder. And sadly, this is now happening. Of course, where we are now seeing a lot of individuals that are being groomed from within the populace that the Kenyan, normal Kenyans that you and I, of course, are. Very interestingly, we saw the incoming of a lot of women, or ladies for that matter. Among the five, of course, quite a number of them were women. And this is a very tactical move. Women are known to really very easily blend in. And the fact that we are providing that space and time to indoctrinate new individuals, it's very scary for that matter, and at the same time it's very worrying, because we are letting ourselves down to some extent. The normal citizenship and the normal kind of loyalty that you would expect of any normal Kenyan, that you and me would feed into that kind of space in the grand scheme of things, isn't happening.
Sure. But Byron, let me ask you this. This past weekend, there's a lot of security activity around, especially Westlands. And of course, it was the anniversary of Dusit, it's the anniversary of events.
Yes.
Is this what they do? They target to coincide with anniversaries?
Definitely, yes. What has happened and what we've seen in the past is the terrorists love to commemorate the past events. January is one of those space and time where they've had to really commemorate the past events. Dusit did happen dead on the time when we had attacks in the past. And so, yes, no more security, undertakings had to be, made to come to fruition in terms of what we saw, a heavy, population of the security agencies in some particular, malls and installations of national importance. Now, this is not supposed to worry the normal individuals that Kenyans are, and the law-abiding citizens that the Kenyans are. If anything, we'd want to have a lot of shored-up support and situational awareness on the part of the Kenyans to support some of these initiatives. And in most part, if you now recognize what's happened in terms of a lot of Kenyans themselves getting used by the terrorists, we've had a lot of infiltration of the normal populace, and they're finding it really easy to use the normal people that you would blend in among us, and they fail to be reported to the relevant agencies. The intelligence outfit, the Amniat, that's the intelligence wing of the Al-Shabaab. There's the military wing and then the intelligence wing. Some of this is happening right under our noses, and if we do not exercise situational awareness and play our roles as the normal civilians to report what we feel should be reported to relevant agencies, then we'll find ourselves really on the bad side of things.
So what would you say would be the most vulnerable areas right now in your view?
Malls and public places are being targeted. Of course, they wish to harvest as many human beings as possible. And where do you find those human beings? You could find them in supermarkets. Sadly, we're coming off the background of a lot of laissez-faire kind of attitude on the part of the security, machinery. If you talk about the private security that are employed to guard some of these installations. So it leaves a very heavy burden on the shoulders of the relevant government agencies, that the police and all the other agencies are, to take care of what should be taken care of by other people. So there's overlapping roles that if we do not play very, very well at both individual and organizational levels, then we may just create those weakest links, as the proverbial sayings go, that would let all of us be found, flat-footed.
Sure, Byron, at the same time, I know there are a lot of incidents that we never hear of, foiled attempts that we never hear of. Obviously, the forces are really doing the best that they can, but in Lamu, not so long ago, a military base where a U.S. contractor was killed. They were able to infiltrate a military base. and take out some aircraft or drones, whatever it was they took out. I mean, isn't that disturbing?
Yes, from one perspective, that is disturbing. But if you look at the way the societal dynamics are and what organizations are also made to be and to implement in terms of their visions and objectives side by side, then you'd find some of those things that sound very rational to become very rational all of a sudden. Now, we understand how the organizations that the military base and of course the military camps thereabout in those spaces are. But if you ever look at the stretch of the border that we share with Somalia, you cannot feasibly have people standing shoulder to shoulder with each other to ensure that we don't have that kind of infiltration. And the other bit is, this war is not just the fighting, the combat practice where the boot meets the tire meets the road is combat. It's military. But the biggest part of this war is psychological, and it's all here. The biggest bit is we have individuals who may have crossed over and they're back in the returnees. We may be having individuals who are disenfranchised, and so they're feeling, hey, if I'm given some other narrative that is helpful to me in terms of money, we have a lot of unemployed youths, and it meets just the online transfer of that information, and people are willing to take up arms and conduct incursions. So in this respect, yes, we have individuals who are able to slip in and probably just be with the local populace. And we have the Boni Forest that is, as I said the last time, is probably very ungovernable, loads of ungovernable spaces. It's a very difficult terrain. So if someone has good enough information about the general security regime around even a particular camp, then there's that slim chance that they can slip through some of those spaces that may not be having eyes and ears.
And you mentioned this being a psychological war. There have been reports that university students now are targets of these cell groups and are radicalized.
Yes.
How do we curb this?
I mean, interestingly, 1957, Robert Merton did come up with strain anomaly theory, which is under the psychological, elements that would play into some of these narratives. Now, he talked about deviant behavior. And deviant behavior occurs when conventional aspirations exceed the level of satisfaction that is associated with the legitimate behavior. Now, in this country, we have individuals who made it by corrupt means and other means, and the youth and everybody else is looking at this space. So if there are blockages to getting to those legitimately coined aspirations in their lives, then they get to conceptualize illegitimate behavior to arrive at the same objectives. And you do that. If Al-Shabaab come with a ton of money and they're saying, hey, you don't need to struggle against the government because you're frustrated because of this reason or the other, there's joblessness, there's this and that. So you're able to take up that amount of dollars and join their ranks. And it's just the online transfer information, indoctrination, as we said. Now, we have to look at those psychological elements they've been there for quite some time. They've been researched, and there's a heavy load of intelligence findings that would play into this kind of narrative. Those are the things we got to look at. So a practice here and there might have very negative effects on the other space. The corruption that is being handled very cagily sometimes may just be the fodder and the fuel that would ignite some other illegitimate behavior on the other part of the populace. So these are the things we need to have a look at.
Sure. As a security expert, real quick, what can we, ordinary Kenyans, what do we need to do moving forward, if we're in a situation, or to be aware, or just to be alert? What do we need to do?
Fine. To give this train of thought the railroad to where we want it to go, we've got to rope in the individual. They say the man is the organization, and so is the individual. The country is that individual Kenyan that has had to now change their mindsets and take a complete about turn on how we've had to do business in the past. I mean, we were treated to a situation in the Thika supermarket where a bag was left with ammunition inside there for weeks on end. Now, you'd think that is totally very irrational and wouldn't happen, but that happens because of the way we are. We see the world as we are. Kenyans have got to see the world differently. We've got to improve our situational awareness. We've got to start questioning things. Sadly, the business of life gives us the opportunity to ask ourselves the what ifs. Until we get to the end of the what ifs, then we are not in a better position to handle the business of life. So what if that car was the wrong one? What if the car that had been going to do CD2 for quite some time was not doing normal business because it looked really off and the men were not coming out of the car and it doesn't look well. If that James guy who was a mechanizer did report that to the relevant person who was going to take decisive action, we were not going to have do CD2. Sadly, we did, and we lost 21 lives. Now, situational awareness is very, very important, and it just needs us to ask ourselves the what ifs and take that step to report it to the next level. Now that next level needs to also be optimized for excellence in the way they tap into that information, one, the way they act on that information in a timely manner, and they've got to incentivize the whole game plan. We've had situations where people report either to the police and there's no incentive. Not just money matters, but we are thinking, hey, are they going to take action on that? So you are encouraged to do the right thing, which is report things that you don't feel are okay or normal.
All right.
Wow. Always stay vigilant.
Always stay vigilant.
Not paranoid, but have a healthy sense of suspicion.
Yeah, the
awareness.
dosage of vigilance.
Yeah,
it's very, very important.
Great.
Byron Odera, thanks so much for that, man. Appreciate that. That's Byron Odera. He's a security expert, ex-Special Forces. He knows what he's talking about.
Absolutely.
Well done. Thank you, sir.
Hope you're listening. Moving on to other stories of the day. The Ministry of Education will, from tomorrow,